Good morning, everyone. I'm Callie, proud owner of Jemminz, and today I'm going to talk to you about soap molds. Kind of got interested in soap many years ago when I was a Girl Scout, and I've made soaps throughout my years and have absolutely had some fun with it. And in my past videos, I showed you a simple recipe on how to make soaps and what they're all about. And today we're going to talk about the molds, because there are so many different molds in the world that you can purchase. Literally, I mean, in the world. You can go on eBay or Etsy or Amazon or Wish or AliExpress. I mean, there's so many different places that you can go to get soap molds that I thought I'd talk to you a little bit about them, which is really fun. My favorite of all of my soap molds that I have are the silicone molds. Why? Silicone are really easy to get out. They're very flexible, and it doesn't take a rocket scientist to pop them out. I mean, as you can see, these bend very easily. This is the little one. And what I love about them is there's so many different shapes and sizes, and there's just a whole gamut of different soap molds. And so when you're either doing it for personal or for business, you want to figure out, well, what kind of soaps do I want to do? Well, I got on the internet because I did the same thing and looked all over the place to find all the different shapes and sizes and molds that I wanted to do and all the projects that I wanted to do, because there are so many cool projects out there. I ended up settling on the bars, and these are really fun. They come in, it's a wood box with a silicone removal piece. As you can see, they pull out very easily. And to pull the soap molds out, you've probably seen me unbox a couple of them in the past. If you haven't, go watch my videos and see what that's all about. But these pull apart very easily, and you can easily pop them inside out to get your soaps out. They're very flexible. They're heat. They can take a high heat if you really need to soap at high heat. I soap at a low heat though. I was soaping at a high heat for the longest time, and I decided to try a different technique. So now I'm soaping at a low heat, actually room temperature, which is about 75 degrees in my house. And I'm finding that I really like the way my soaps are coming out. So this is just one soap mold that you can get, a wood box with a remover. You can also use these and line them with parchment paper or baker's paper. And there's a lot of videos on the internet that can tell you how to do that. I'm not going to show you those here, but so that's another soap mold you can do. One of the other things that I was trying to do here was to do a tester batch. And so I was finding that some of my oils or my soaps were not turning out as well as I wanted them to in the beginning. And so I did a lot of testing, and I thought, okay, well, how can I test my fragrances that were coming in? Because all of my soaps that I've been making over the years were turning out right. The base is perfect, according to soapcalc.com. There was no issues with that. Some might accelerate a little faster than others, but the super base that I'm using, it has a slow acceleration or hardening. And I chose to decide to do a tester batch. So that's why I wanted to do this, is to show you not just the soap molds, but show you how I do a tester batch too. So when I get a new fragrance oil, I could really test it out without having to do a whole bar or a whole set of batter, because my batter bases are 5 cups, which matches this box. So the yield for this box is 5 cups of batter. But the problem with that is if I do a whole bar and the bar goes bad, which I've already had happen, and I've shown you that in the past with my other videos, that I wanted to create a single small bar and then test my oils that way. And so that's exactly what I did. I got into soapcalc.net. I took my original recipe and I left everything the same, with the exception of what I did is just take the volume down. So instead of doing 5 cups, I did a recipe for a 1/2 cup. That way I know that I can get at least 1 bar of soap as a tester. And I decided that that was the way I wanted to do it. Now, there's other ways you can test your bars. You can do a full batch and then take like how many basic bars you would normally get, or how many half cups. In this case, my bar is 5. So if I do half cup little soaps, that's 10 half cups, or 1 bar. And then I could do 10 different oils if I wanted to do a big batch. However, I didn't want to do that because sometimes the batches would not give me enough time to be able to mix this oils in and do my micas or my dyes or whatever colorant I was going to add in. Because at the end, even though I was testing these out, I wanted to have a soap that I could actually sell. Even if it was for a single soap, I still wanted to be able to sell them. Or keep them for myself if it was a fragrance that I really, really liked. So I decided to do a half cup recipe to test my batter. Now, I'm not going to test that today, but I am going to show you how to do that tomorrow. Today, we're just going to talk about the molds themselves. And the reason why we're talking about that is because this is why I wanted to do it. I wanted to be able to test it without having to go through a whole lot of a batter. And so knowing that I have a half cup and I had all these molds, my next step is to actually test them to find out, well, what kind of testing can I do. So the different kind of molds that you can find are there. Like I said, there's a lot of them on there, as I talked about earlier. I mean, you can go to like little small ones, or you can go to like the squares like these. I like these because they say 100% handmade in them, or you get them that have they're round and they have fancy stuff in the middle, or around 100% handmade there. I have some that say funny soap. So when you pour the soap in there, the stamp is already in there. Or you can go with something like, oh, here's another one. That's a really fun one. I haven't done this one yet, but I'm wanting to. Oh, I might test that one out today. Or you can go with just plain bars. We've got those. There's different sizes. Both are rectangles, but they're different size rectangles, I think. Nope, those are my same. Or you can do like ovals. Or you can do like little mini round ones. These are really small, as you can see with my hand. They're very, very tiny, which is fun. You could do like small ones and then put 2 or 3 or 4 of them in a pack, which I may do. Different shapes. This one happens to be a cannabis leaf, or you could probably use this one as a maple leaf too. It's a really cool little soap mold. Here's a small rectangle mold that you can do. Most of these I got on Amazon, but you can get them pretty much anywhere. And then little embeds for this. This happens to be a coffee bean one that I picked up. I thought it was really cute. I haven't used it yet, but I'm going to. And then you have little small squares. And then you have like little rounds. I think the majority of these I did pick up on Amazon because they were really fun. But then you can go with kids. You can see these are pretty big kid soaps. This one happens to be Cars, which is really fun. And then I found some really big kid ones, which would be really fun to do for teens or young girls, either one. And then we found some trains on there. So, oh wait, I love these. These are little dinosaurs. I'm going to do some fun dinosaur ones. I haven't done them yet, but I'm getting ready to. I just got the new soaps in that I'm going to use for the kid ones. I'm still working on their formula, but I'm going to do a melt and pour one and put some fragrance in there to test the molds out to make sure that they're going to work okay, which I'm pretty sure at this point they will. But I thought I'd release some young kid ones. And then you can get some really big fun ones like these. So as you can see, there's just a whole bunch. And then there's some little ones like, here's some baby little animals for young kids. Maybe toddlers can use these because they're small for their hands, which would be really fun for those. And then there's some girl ones and some boy ones. Girl, boy, they're kind of mixed up in between. But I have some plans for those, as I've talked about in my videos before, and they are coming out. But as you can see, there's just a whole bunch of soaps out there that you could really get into. Some soaps have, I don't need these. I'm just going to throw them down in my bucket here. My bucket of all my stuff is down here. But I'm going to do a tester here. I know those won't work. And we're going to see which ones will hold my testers. Let me pull a couple more of these out here. You can't really see what I'm doing, but I'll show you. I'll turn the camera down here in just a second. I know that won't hold. That one might. And I'll put those back in there so they're not on my counter. We'll put those away. And then, so another way you can get molds is like this. They have really nice stamps in the middle of it. I actually like this one, and I probably will start using it pretty quickly. I have this one's kind of a wave, and I have a set of soaps that I want to make for this one. So this one will be really fun. But on to my testing. In order for me to find out the mold that I wanted to use, I really wanted to do just some water testing. I didn't want to make any batches. I didn't want to do anything. I'm looking for volume at this point. And so what I did is I took a half cup of water, filled it up. Ooh, that's a little bit more than a half a cup. There we go. There's a half cup of water. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour it into one of my molds. And I'm going to see, okay, does that half cup fit into that mold or not? And will my recipe work in that mold? I already know that if I use the recipe in the smaller ones, they're going to work. That's not a problem. But what I'm trying to create is a single bar of soap where I can just test just a little bit of my fragrance oil to make sure that my soap is going to work with that. It will, and then I can get it molded pretty quickly. Doing a single bar like that is actually probably the easiest way to test your soaps in your fragrances. It's just my method. I'm sure there's probably other methods out there that would work, but this just happens to be my method, and I like to experiment, so I like to have fun with it, and that's what I'm going to do here. So let's put the camera down. If I can get this to move here. Oh, forgive me. Okay. I'm going to swing it around here so you can see all the molds here, and we'll see what we're going to do. Okay. My apology here. All right, so we have our water, our half cup of water. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to test it at each of my molds to see if I could use these as my testers. What I'm looking for is just volume here. So let's pour our first one in. And let's do this little fancy one and see how much of, see if a half cup of water will go into that one. So let's see, we pour it back here. And pour, pour, pour. It's getting kind of full there. Not quite full, but full enough. I have a little bit left over, which is okay because the technique that I'm going to do in making my soaps, which I'll show you tomorrow, I will want to have just a little bit over. And so that's okay. That's a good thing. What I don't want to do is have this thing completely just fall over if my soaps are too soft. So let's pour this back in and we'll try another one. So we know that this particular one, I'll show you which one it is. It's the little flower, works. So I'm going to put that in my worker one. All right, so let's do this little fancy one and see how much volume this one has. I think this one will work. It looks pretty large, but let's test this one out. Okay, so almost. I could probably pour a little bit more. There's like a little bit in there you can see in there. And that's okay because here again, I have a technique that I'm going to be creating and doing. And so this one also works. It's just whether or not I want to use this mold completely, which I probably will at this point. Okay, so that's 2 molds. All right, so let's do this big one. Here's another one I can use. It says my clove on here, but I'm not going to use clove. And this one is very close also, so that one would work. Let's pour that one back in there. However, looking at the base, it says clover. I don't think I really want to use this to sell my soap, so I probably won't use that one. So I'm going to put that one in a maybe, because I may want to use that one, I may not. I have my soaps mold separated here. So this one's a little bit smaller one. Let's see if this one, this is my 100% round. Ooh, actually this one comes really close. Yep, and we have a lot more of this one. So probably this one will be a no. If I do this one, it holds about a 1/4 cup. I would have to do 2 soaps on this one. Oops, I just spilled some of it. That's okay. So that one is definitely a no. And since this little one right here is the same size as the other one, we're going to put that one as no. I'm pretty sure handmade won't work either. I think it's too small. Yep, it's too small. I have too much of a volume here. So we're going to pull this one and put this one in my no pile. Okay, am I still at a half cup? Yes, I am, even though I spilled that. So those 3 molds will not work. This one is a maybe, probably a no. So I'm going to put it in the mold. So far I have 2 that I could use. Well, let's see if I can find a 3rd one and then I'll make a decision. So let's see if this one will allow me to do the soap. So let's pour this in here and see if this goes to a full cup. Or a half cup, excuse me. And this one does. This one holds, as you can see. Cups upside down. So this one holds a half cup. So this will work for me. So the question is do I want to make a fancy soap or do I just want to make a simple bar soap? I think for all intents purposes for what I'm doing and then just the samples to sell, I can sell the sample ones really cheap. That would be great. So I probably will end up using this one. However, I didn't want a rectangle. I really wanted a square. So I did order some new molds this morning that will actually work. I already know they will because they're about the same size as this one. So I know that this volume will work in the square one that I have coming, but I also have 2 other ones that I could use for my technique. So basically, depending on the technique that I'm wanting to create here and the bars of soaps that I want to create, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 with the new ones that are coming in. I have 4 different ways that I can create this soap and have some really cool bars. That's good. I've accomplished what I needed to do. I know that I could get enough. Now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this would give me, I have 2 of these. Actually, I have more than that. So I know I could get 10 bars from this if I choose to use this technique instead of this one. So I have an alternative for the technique and the bar that I'm trying to create, which will be my signature bar. That's awesome because that really gives me some opportunity to be able to do some things. Let me pull this back up here. So as you can see, there's a lot of different soaps molds that are out there. Believe me, I only have maybe less than 1/8% of all the different molds that are out there. There's a company on AliExpress where you can have your custom molds made. In other words, if there's a stamp or a name or something that you wanted in there, they will make that for you and they will make a large enough set so you can do your batters. I think the one that I found on there was a 5-cup batter square mold that would work really well for me, but I'm not doing a stamp. I'm doing a new bar technique. And so I want to make sure that what I'm doing will actually work. And I wish I could go into detail with you, but I can't. I'm trying to keep this as much of a secret as possible. And then I will reveal exactly what I'm doing tomorrow. Because tomorrow we're actually going to make the mold. And I will use one of these, probably do a little bit more and try and do that technique. Because what I'm trying to do is create a unique soap that nobody else is creating or making. And I want to be able to set myself apart from what other people are doing. You know, there's a lot of people doing these types of soaps and selling them for probably what, $1.99 or $2 or something like that. And there's a lot of people doing these. I've seen these all over the internet, which are awesome. I would love to be able to do that, and I'm going to, but I want to be able to have a signature bar that is my own. You know, there's so many people doing these and they're doing their own techniques, which is awesome. However, this may not work for you. And so I really, really encourage you to do what I'm doing, and is find a design that is your unique own and keep doing that bar and sell that specific bar. That's what's going to set you apart from all the other same companies, same companies out there that are making their bars. I know the particular one that I'm doing, no one else is doing at all. I have not seen it anywhere on the internet, and it's going to be my own, and that's what I want. I want to create a bar that is my own signature bar, and then create all the fragrances in kits and such. What I'm going to be doing, just to reveal a little bit, is I'm going to be not only doing single bars, single body whips, but also single not bath bombs, but bath fizzies. I already have those in the works. I've already made several of them, and I've got them sitting. The pineapple one that we did yesterday, it's still curing. It's finally gotten to a point where it's not sweating, and what that sweating is it's leaching out all the waters that are in the bar itself, and that bar is becoming a harder bar, and that's exactly, it's on track for it. It's been sweating for about a week and a half now. It's been sweating, and it's finally stopped this morning. I haven't seen any beads of water on it, so that's a good thing, which means it's starting to now do its final phase of solidifying itself completely. And the longer I let that bar sit, the harder it's going to get and the better soap it's going to create. So most of your bars, when you're making them, you want them to sit for about 3 to 4 weeks. If you want them to go harder, sometimes some have let them sit for up to a year. I know some processes, they can take 2 to 3 years. And so they do massive bars, and then they date them, and then they sit them aside, and then you don't see them for another year or two, which is kind of cool. But I don't want to do that. I don't have the room in my home right now to be able to, do that type of process. And that's okay for me. I just want to be able to have a bar that I could sit for a month, 4 weeks, and then move from there. And with the new technique that I'm going to do, that is exactly what's going to happen. So I'm excited. So tomorrow I'm going to show you how I make my tester bars, and with the recipe that I've created, and I will show you that all tomorrow. I may even get on later on and do it. I just spilled some water and get that done for you all. But there you go. Soap molds. Go out and buy them. Go out and create your own recipes. Go out and have some fun. I know I've had absolutely a blast doing it, and I know you will too. Get out there and experiment. Create something brand new that other people are not doing. Use a mold and do a new technique, or, do your research and just get some creativity going and have some fun. I know I've had a lot of fun, and I know this new bar that I'm bringing out is going to be an awesome bar, and I cannot wait to start working on it and perfecting it so that you all can start purchasing it. So anyway, I just want to say thank you for joining me today, and I wish you all the best, and go out and have a great Saturday. It's a beautiful day here, kind of, sort of. We've got some rain and sun, and now it looks like it's getting ready to rain again. So get outside when you can and go have some fun. I know I'm going to probably go fishing this afternoon if I can. My favorite pastime. Anyway, you all have a great day. Bye, and thank you for joining me again. Don't forget to subscribe and like my videos if you like them, and come back for more. Bye. Hello everybody, welcome back. And as you can see, I have everything set up to do my soaps. We're going to do a tester batch today, and I'm going to show you how we test our oils. I have all my ingredients pre-measured out for you, including my oil. Today I'm going to be doing Ocean Breeze, and I'm going to show you how we make our soaps and test them out. Couple of things that I have that you will need to do this is you will need your recipe, which I have here. Like I said, I've already pre-measured everything, so I really don't need it. I have pre-measured my recipe for ½ a cup. I did that on soapcalc.net, which I very much encourage you to do yourself. I absolutely love that website. I've been able to formulate all of my formulas for my soaps there, and it's very accurate, and I'm very happy with the soaps that I've had that have come out from that. I have my new safety goggles here. I'm going to put those on, and we're going to make sure that we're safe when we get ready to do our live. So I've got that. I have my long sleeves on, even though I haven't pulled up right now. I'm a little hot. I will pull them down here in a second. I have my gloves that we're going to do. I have my mixer ready to go off to the side here. And let's just get soaping. Ocean Breeze is the name of the oil that I got. I got this from New Directions, but you can get this at a lot of different places. Brambleberry has it, Wellness Fragrances has it, and Wholesale Supplies, which is Crafter's Choice, also has it. So you should be able to pick up this breeze. This particular one, it has a nice floral scent, like you're walking on a beach with a bunch of flowers around you. It's absolutely a beautiful oil, and I really like it. It doesn't have any vanilla content in it if you're concerned about that. However, some of the fragrances, they accelerate a little bit too fast. That's why I'm doing a smaller batch of 1/2 cup. I'm going to see how this oil works. And then once I know how this tests out and if it works the way I'm hoping it will, then I can go ahead and add the rest of my, I can make the larger batches for it. I'm going to dump this water into a smaller container in a minute. Oh, I forgot to grab one. Only because I'm going to mix everything up in this bowl all at once. This is a new technique I learned. I think the Little Green Man, actually, I think is the name of the YouTuber on here that showed this technique. And I'm going to give it a try. At the same time, I'm also going to test out a little bit. So this is a whole brand new process for me. I don't know how it's going to turn out, but you guys are going to watch me as I do it. So let's get soaping. All right, I'm going to put in my hemp oil, hemp butter, because my products are all hemp. And yes, there's a little bit of water in here, but that's okay. I'm going to do that in a second. All right. Okay, we're going to get that in here. I forgot I needed to get my soda going. So I'm going to put this aside for a second because I forgot that I have to get my soda and my stuff going. So let me grab my other bowl. This is a lightweight steel bowl. I'm going to pour my water in here. Where's my spatula so I make sure I get it all in here. Every little drop counts. All right, so before I put my lye in, I'm going to put on my glove. Actually, my gloves. You want to have your hands completely protected. All right, I'm going to pull down my sleeves so I'm all covered, and I'm going to be putting on my glasses. So that way I'm fully protected. Ooh, these are kind of cool. Can you see me in them? Hi, everybody. These are really cool glasses. I'm so glad I got them. I got these at Brambleberry. You can get them at Brambleberry, and I also got them from one other website. I believe it was Crafter's Choice. They're like $6. Really cheap, inexpensive, and perfect for what we're doing today. Okay, back to soaping. All right, so let's get our lye going. Where did my spoon go? Thought I had everything out for you guys. Sorry about this, you guys. All right. All right. I've got my spoon so I can stir this in. Make sure you get all the dots. I'm also being really careful. Notice one thing, I do have animals, but they are not here in this room at the moment. And that is by choice. I am choosing to keep my animals away. Why do I do that? I do that I'm going to let that sit over there for a minute and let that, it was putting off some really heavy fumes. I'm not sure why, but whew, it was pretty heavy and I had to get it away from my lungs. I have my animals put away because if something happens and they come flying through here and they trip me, and I had that lye in my hand, they could get really hurt as well as myself. So pet safety always, kid safety, always do this without the kids around, unless you're teaching them how to do it, and then teach them safety. All right, so let's add in the rest of our ingredients. The only thing I'm not going to add is my fragrance oil. I'm going to add that absolutely last. So I'm going to put in my coconut oil. And normally in cold processed soap, you would want to melt your hard oils first, and then add in your soft oils. But for now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put everything together here, and we're going to let the we are going to let the lye actually cook this soap, which is going to be really fun. Is it pouring down rain out there? I thought I heard the rain. I let my dog out earlier, and she may want back in, so because the weather's pretty bad out there. We had pretty good weather this morning when I did my other video, but for whatever reason our weather decided to turn on us, so that was the way it was. That was the olive oil I'm putting in my hemp oil. This is a proprietary recipe to me only, so I'm not going to give this one out. I have given out another recipe on one of my previous videos that I think I will upload that. Try and upload it today if I can, or if not, I may have already uploaded it by the time this is there. And then the last but not least, I'm adding my castor oil. This castor oil will give your soap a really super soft, sudsy soap, and I absolutely live. Castor oil is one of my favorites in my soaps. I like it. I remember when we were kids, Grandma, when we used to get sick, my grandma would be like, "Where's that castor oil? Give that girl castor oil. Her throat will feel better." And me like, "Oh, heck no." I used to run from my grandmother because I didn't want to take that stuff. It's nasty to drink. To me anyway. Some people like it. I don't. All right, so we've got this done. I'm going to, as you can see, all my oils and butters are in there. I'm going to just break it up a little bit. I have coconut oil, hemp oil, and I'm just going to mix it up just a little bit before I add the lye in. I think what I do is I may just go ahead and mix this really quick just to soften it up a little bit. Notice I'm not putting anything else in this mix right now. I don't have a paper towel. I'm going to go grab one. And as soon as that lye goes cool, we're going to add all this together. So we're going to mix this all up. Okay, I'm going to scrape that little bit of butter down. Get that all mixed in there, incorporated. All I'm doing is making this a smoother batter so that when I go to put my soap in here, it actually will, or my lye, excuse me, when I put my lye in here, it will actually all mix up fairly easily and quickly. That's all I'm doing, just kind of accelerating the process a little bit, doing a little bit different here. All right, so there's that. It's got a lot of bubbles in it. All right. Fragrance oil, I have my coloring today will be a kind of a teal green, and then I have my kale and clay, which we're going to dump in here also, but I have to put the lye in first before I can do that. So let me see what we've got going here. I'll bring this back over. The fumes are finally done. As you can see in here, it's not quite clear. We want to have lye that is clear. And what I may do is bring this lye down to room temperature since my butters and stuff are already pretty well melted. Let's find out what the temperature is on this. Come on, turn on. You were working for me earlier. Oh, why did it quit working? Okay, hold on. I don't know why this stopped working. Oh, that's because the battery fell out of it. There's a battery. Let's put another one in. That's easy to fix. There we go. There we go. Now we got it. All right, so that oil says 66%. That's not right. There it goes. 152 Celsius. Or I mean Fahrenheit. Little too hot for what I want to do here yet. Not quite clear also. So let's just stir this a little bit and give it a second. I have a feeling this might accelerate a little fast because it's hot. But we definitely want that to melt all of this that I just poured in here down a little bit. And once this is completely clear, I can still see some grains in here, so it's not quite done. It's almost there though. 144, so it's accelerating down fairly quickly. So what I'm going to do, it's clear enough. I'm going to add this to my soap. Get all that stuff out of there. Stir this up a little bit. mind you, this is really hot, so. But what it's doing, I don't know if you can see this or not, but it's actually melting the oils in here. And that's exactly what we want. But this is also fully incorporated, so. This actually looks like a really good batter. Let's see what we got here. And that went to trace really quickly. Let's see what my batter's temperature's at. Oh, 93 degrees, so that's pretty good. All right, let me get my whisk. I'm going to put in my kaolin clay. I'm going to put in my colorant. Ooh, this is turning out really pretty. Can you see that, how pretty that is? I'm putting this all in a little bit early, except for my fragrance oil, and there's a reason for it. Because now, even though that looks like it's accelerated in, it's not. So I'm going to bring this over and blend this. Take my gloves off. Now that lie has been taken care of. Throw my sleeves up. Now I'm just going to gently mix this. I'm not going to mix it too much. I just want enough. There we go. We're good enough. The oil and stuff is all mixed. I'm now going to add in my fragrance oil. Mix it in. Okay, now if you can see this, that soap set up almost immediately. That is not what I wanted to have happen. That is why I did a small batch batter. Now, can I still use this soap? Absolutely. In fact, I'm going to here, and I'll show you how to do this. Yeah, that's almost hard. I almost can't even use that. So I know that this specific oil accelerates very fast. Too fast even. I can't even get it out of the blender. I mean, look how hard this went too quickly. I mean, it literally went as fast as you possibly could do it. All right, so this soap is almost not usable at this point, but I'm going to save it by getting another bar, another mold. All right, so what I'm going to do real quickly, because I still have time to work with it, I'm just going to spray this down with alcohol so I've got it. I'm going to separate this out. And I'm going to, oh, I should do this with my gloves. Let me rinse my hand off real quick and I'll do it with my gloves. I got a second or two before I really have issues. I shouldn't have done that. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stuff this in here the best I can. Grab a little bit more here. Put it in the other mold. All I'm trying to do is just save this a little bit. These two bars that I'm going to make here, I'll use myself. Oh, I might get another bar out of it. We'll see. All right, so this is the exact reason why I did this. I did not know how that oil was going to develop. And as you can see, it seized up on me immediately. It could have been that the oil or the lye was really still too hot to work with. And that is definitely a possibility. So what I will do next time is I know that this process will not work with that soap. And I will just do another technique with it. This is what soap is all about. This is why I did one small recipe, because I had a feeling this might happen, because I've already had it happen with another recipe, and I wanted to make sure that no matter what I did, I could save this really quick. The smell is phenomenal. This soap is just fantastic smelling. All right, so I'm just gonna, I know these aren't gonna be exact. I'm gonna use these for myself, but, well, let's see if I can actually, this actually will work. See how I'm just pressing this into the mold really fast? The soap is still soap. It's not a bad soap. It's just, it's not something that I would be able to sell because of what just happened here. And I can feel the soap. It's really, really hot. So note to self, don't do this technique. It does not work. I do not like it. I'm going to do another setup and do another tester with the same. What I'm going to do is this specific, it's clear that this specific technique I have done in the past. I did a tester a while ago and it didn't do this to me. So I'm not sure if it's the bar itself. Take that out and put that over there. I got 3 bars out of that. That's cool. Or whether or not it was the technique. It could be that the lye was too hot and that's why this happened, and that's okay. What I'll do is I'm going to definitely recreate this, and I'll try a different technique. I'll get my lye going early and we'll make sure that we get that done. All I'm doing is kind of reforming it in the mold a little bit, and I'm forcing it to go down, but I'm also trying to keep its shape down below here because it is moldable. It is a moldable soap, so that's good. Oh, I'm just a little disappointed that it didn't turn out, but that's okay. We'll try it again. This is what experimentation is all about, and don't be afraid to do the experimentation. Get on to soapcalc.net. Get your recipe that you want to use, reformulate it into a small bar, and then do what I just did. Now I know there's a soap. It did not turn out, but I was able to save it, and I will be able to use it, and I absolutely love it. It'll go in my guest bathroom is what it will do, and then I will use it again. So there you have it, folks. We didn't know what that was going to do, but that's part of, you know, soaping. We never know what we're going to get until we actually make our soap. So I am going to recreate this. I'm going to probably tack it onto this tomorrow, or maybe if I have a little bit of time this afternoon, I might do a second recipe, but let everything cool down to room temperature, which is how I like to do my soaps now, and then just redo it all over again. It's easy to do, and because I'm doing a small batch of like 3 soaps here, this would have been 1 bar of soap, but it went to 3 bars. It's easy to recreate. I'm not using up my product, so I'm not wasting anything. By doing small batches like this, it makes it much easier for you to be able to figure out, instead of doing a large bar or a whole huge batch, it actually saved me from having to have a whole bar completely ruined. And because of what I did, I was able to save this soap to be able to reuse it again. So anyway, there you go, you guys. There's the soap. As you can see, it's a complete freaking mess, but that is okay. Once this cools down, I'll reveal it tomorrow, and then I will also go and recreate a new batch and see if it's either the oil or whether it was the process they used for that specific oil. I'm thinking that if I temp it at a low temperature, it'll probably work out. So I'm going to go and get all this cleaned up, and I will come back and hopefully do a second batch. I will talk to you all later. Thanks, everybody. Bye. Hello, everyone, and welcome back. So earlier you saw that we had a soap that completely failed on us. That soap has actually completely cooled down, so I'm going to unmask that here. And there's that. It still needs to cure a little bit to get the full final effect of the soap, but at least you'll see what happens when we try to fix what we broke. I did go back and do some research and found out that I had added extra fragrance oil into my recipe, and I misread the recipe actually, which is something that I don't think I've ever done before, but it happened. Instead of adding 17 gram or instead of adding 1.7 or 7.17 grams, my apologies, or 0.2 grams of oils, fragrance oils, I ended up adding 17 grams of oil. So you can see there was a huge difference there, and that is the reason why it seized up. So today, tonight actually, because I had done that video earlier earlier today. So tonight I actually went and very quickly redid the whole batter and everything else, and I'm going to show you what we're going to do now. I put all my oils together earlier and I melted them all down. I got my lye all ready and I melted that down, and it's all cooled. It's almost at room temperature here. We're about 76 degrees here. I like to soap between 75 and 80 degrees, so we're right in that range to be able to do a good soap. I'm fingers crossed that this actually does work. I'm pretty sure that the mistake was I added too much fragrance oil, which is on me. I should have been paying attention and I wasn't. So that just begs the question, you know, you know, for you in the future, just don't make my mistake. Don't add extra fragrance. Really pay attention to your recipe and make sure you follow it exactly. Because if you don't, what happens is your soap seizes up, or it just completely fails and falls apart, and which is exactly what happened with me. So don't do my mistake anymore. Learn from my mistake, actually. And I'm not going to beat myself up over it. It was a simple miscalculation. You know, it happens. And so the best thing for us to do is just to move on and move forward in a positive way also. So I'm going to turn the camera down here. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do, and I actually have a second mold, and I've already prepped this mold. How you prep your molds is very simple. Just spray them with 99% isopropyl alcohol or rubbing alcohol, and make sure that they're nice and sterilized and clean, and that's what I've done today. So we're just going to put that mold in there. I know that I'll get about 3 or actually 2 soaps, because I'm going to do something special with them. So that's really cool. I've got 2 cool soaps out there that I can sell, or I can give away to a friend for their birthday or a Christmas or whatever. And so there you go. So let me turn this down so you can see what I'm going to do, because I really like you guys to see the process of what I'm doing here. All right. There we go. Very simple. All right, so I have my oils at room temperature. I have this really handy dandy little infrared thermometer, and you definitely want to get one of these. This really makes it a lot easier when you're soaping. So we're going to temp that. It says 78. Okay, and let's temp this. That one says 78 also. So they're both at the right temperatures to be able to soap. You want to have them within 10 degrees of each other when you go to soap. Now, like I said, in this one, I already have all my hard and my soft oils. I softened up and melted down my hard oils, and then I added my soft oils into it, which also took my temperature down actually to my lye temperature, and now I'm ready to soap. But before I do that, I'm going to add a couple of more ingredients. I'm going to hold off and not put my fragrance oil in this time, but I'm going to add in my kaolin clay, and then once we do that, we'll add in the other. Probably should have added that kaolin clay last, but it's okay if I do it now. And my dog baby girl wants out, so I'm gonna let her out real quick. All right, she's going outside. See you later, girl. All right. My lye has cooled down enough so I don't have to worry about it so much with the pets, but I always do anyway. It's just a precaution. All right, so now I'm gonna put my gloves on. I already have my glasses on. You can't see them, but they are on. And we're going to pour that lye in there. And then we're going to mix our batter up. And then we'll add our fragrance oil and our coloring. Oops, an extra glove. I don't need that. And just as a reminder of the oil that we're using today, it's called Ocean Breeze. I will probably rename that to another one, probably a Walk on the Beach or something, because it's so pretty. It's got a nice floral scent to it. All right, so now that we're ready to go, let me test my mixer, make sure. Okay, it's still plugged in. So now I'm going to pour this in, and very carefully pour it away from me, of course. I'm going to get that poured in. Now notice I am not scraping the bowl here. The reason for that is you can't really see it, but on the edge of this inside is a ring of ash. I do not want to get that mixed up into my soaps. So I'm just going to pour out the drops if I can. Okay, shake it out a little bit, and then we're done. I'm going to put this out of my way. Put some hot water on that. All right, so that lye bowl will sit for about 24 hours before I actually wash it, and then we'll be able to get it cleaned and safely clean the bowl, and then we can reuse it. All right, in goes to the blender. I'm gonna mix this up a little bit. This is gonna get loud, my apologies. colors are put together really well. And that's it. It doesn't take very long. Wow, this went really well. And it's nice and pliable, so I've got a little bit of working room here. All right, let me scrape the inside of this to get all that soap out, because next what I'm going to do is make sure that this is completely cleared. And we are going to move that cord out of the way. Add my coloring, which I'll get my, I'm going to hand mix the rest of this in just to be on the safe side. I don't want to over mix my mix. As you can see, it's a nice pudding consistency, and that's exactly what you want. So I've already got that. I'm going to put that away. I'm going to grab this, and we're now going to add our colorant. Get that to a pretty color. I'm using a teal green. When using your micas, make sure that they are not anything but, oh, that whole thing just fell in there. Did you just see that? Oh, pour that out. I don't know if I got all that in there or not, but we'll have to clean that bottle off. Whoops. That sometimes can happen. Yeah, I lost that whole bottle, but that's okay. I'll order some more. It's just a little bottle. It's not a big deal. That's a little frustrating. All right, so there's the color of my oil, my micas. What I started to say is when you're doing your micas, make sure that you're doing cosmetic grade and not anything else. They are specifically made for wow, look at that. Nice, cool consistency. All right, now let's add our fragrance oil. Here again, get all that goodness out of there. I backed off on the fragrance on this one because it really was too strong, and that's the reason why my stuff did not turn out as well. Come back and grab that in a minute. And look, it's not seizing up on me, which means I added too much fragrance. That's what happened. And I tempted it too high of a temperature. I hope I can save that. It looks like I can. All right. So this is a nice pudding. Actually, you know what? I'm going to add just a touch more. Now, I have to be careful with it because I don't want to add too much. So I know what I'm doing here. All right. I'm just going to add a little bit more fragrance because it was a little light. Put that on there for just a second. Wipe my hands off because they're all messy. I'm just going to add just a touch more. Adding a little bit more fragrance, so this is not going to hurt the recipe. I just don't want to go over the yield. And I actually under yielded this one, so it's okay. Now it smells perfect. All right, so let me close this up. And we're going to smoke that down. Also, when you're using fragrance oils, be careful to use only the ones that are made for soap. Some companies carry both soap and soap dyes, or not soap dyes, I meant candle dyes. And you want to be really careful of that because you do not want to do that. I'm just going to mix this up just a little bit more. Move that bottle out of the way before I dump it in again. Incorporated in, it really is, and now it's starting to solidify really, really nice. I'm not going to add any water into this, but I'm going to scrape this off really quick. This soap turned out really well. I'm very happy with it. It's exactly what it should have done. So now I know my mistake. I'm just going to clean this off so I make sure I get all the soap. Also, when you go and you scrape and you clean like this, your cleanup actually ends up going a lot easier, I found. Undo this so I can get in there. Less soap ingredients you have to clean, the better your cleanup goes is all. All right, so that's gonna sit in some soap down there. This is nice and pudding. Look at that. That is exactly how our soap should look. Look at that. I am very happy with this. All right, so let's pour this in the molds. And I will tap this down in a minute. I'm going to get 2 full soaps out of this. Get a little bit more out of here. So remember I did earlier the testers, and they ended up being, I'm going to mold it up. It doesn't matter to me. What I may do is do a shaving technique earlier and show you how to shave your soaps off. Actually, I think what I'll do, let me see if I can get a wider spatula real quick. And then I can scrape that off. I had one. Yep, I have one right here. Oops. I don't know if you can see that, but that just popped right off. That happens. Not a big deal. All right, with the bigger scraper, I can actually get more of this stuff out. And I can do like this, like boom, and do this like this. That in there. I'll have a little thin soap, but that's okay. I'm going to tap this down because I really want that to get in there. I'm just scraping it off. There we go. And make another little soap there. It'll be a thin little one. It won't be one that I'll sell. I'll probably use it as a sample. If somebody wants to try a sample out, I'll have it. I like to keep the little shavings and stuff off so I have the samples for people. They really like them. I know I do. If there's a sample available of a soap and I'm not sure about, whether or not I want to use it, I make sure that I grab the sampler. Wow, that soap was perfect. Perfection. All right, so let's see if I can get this all kind of molded in. This soap, I'm not expecting it to be perfect. This is just a little sample bar. And there you have it. This is exactly the way your soap should look. All right. Oops, a little bit in the corner there. And I'm super happy with that. All right, so I'm going to just tap, tap, tap. All that does is because there's all these ridges here, it just gets the soap down inside. Do it one more. There we go. We're good. Now, this soap will sit for 24 hours, and then it's ready to go. Can I let this soap sit because it's a cold process soap? Absolutely. I could let this sit for a good 24 hours, and then it would be good to go. I could clean off the edges here, but that's great. I was going to add a little glitter into this, but because of what I'm doing here, I'm not going to do that. This is just my tester soap, so I'm not going to do anything fancy with it right now. My goal on this specific soap was to make sure that it wasn't my Ocean Breeze. I'll turn this up here. I want to make sure that it wasn't my fragrance oil that was causing the problem, that it was actually a mistake that I did, and come to find out it really was. So, it is what it is. Nobody's perfect. We all make mistakes, and we just have to positive forward. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. I will try and do a reveal tomorrow or later on when these cool down. These will solidify. It'll take about 24 hours for that to happen. And then when that's done, I will take them out and I will show you the end result. This is the perfect soap. I'm very happy with it, and I cannot wait to make some more soaps. So, guys, like and subscribe if you want to see more videos. Comment down below if there's anything you'd like for me to talk about or to see, or if you have any questions. I'm always here to help you out, and I'm so glad that you guys all joined me today. So thank you very much, and I wish you all a great evening. Good night. Bye. Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. So, welcome back. We have finished our soap that we completed yesterday, and I am ready to reveal it. Remember, yesterday we had a couple little mix-ups and issues that happened with our first batch of soap, so I went back and redid it later on last night, and so now I'm going to reveal both those soaps. It's always best to leave your soaps 24 hours before pulling them out of the molds. We have done that, and now we're getting ready to unmold them. So let's do that. I'm going to turn this down here. Give me just a second so you can see them. There we go. There's both of them. I'm going to put this in front of me because when I unmold this, it's going to get soap all over the place. There we go. So the one on the left here is the one that we had the issue with, and as you can see, it's turned out pretty bad. It dried up, and then that's what one of the soaps looks like unmolded. Let's unmold the other two, and we'll take a look and see how they turned out. I'm suspecting that they didn't turn out any better than the little one, but let's see. Oh, not too bad. There's one of the soaps. So we were kind of sort of able to save it. Clearly the soap is not going to be one that I'll be able to sell, but at least we have somewhat of a soap. Let me bring this up to the camera for you. We were able to save it a little bit. These will just be simple. I'll cut these up and I'll send these out for samples since they're the same as this, but they're clearly failed, and that's okay. These make great samples, or I can just simply chunk them up and throw them in as freebies for people and just let them know that these were damaged and that I just wanted to give them away to somebody to give them a try to use. So there's that soap. And then here's the new one that we did, the redo. And here's a copy of that one. As you can see, it's got a few holes in it. That's normal. If you shake your batter down hard enough, sometimes you can get rid of those bubbles. Sometimes bubbles just occur in your soaps, and that's just the way it goes. It smells so good though. I absolutely love this one. All right, so let me show you how easy it is to pop these out. Remember yesterday I talked about the silicone molds and how easy they were to work. Well, as you saw when I pulled these two out, they were very simple. So let's pull this one out, and I'll show you how easy that is. There you go. This one's a little bit still soft yet, so I think I'll let this sit. This one is beautiful. I'm very happy with it. That scent is so beautiful. The scent on this one is called Ocean Breeze. I will rename this one to another name, only because it doesn't smell like an ocean breeze to me. It smells more like being out. There's the second one. It smells like just a walk on the beach, or a place by the beach. It doesn't smell like an ocean beach to me, but that's the way it is. All right, so there is our reveal. There is our sample soaps that we made. We do know now that both the batter and the fragrance work together very well, and so now I can start working on larger batches. Will I do them in this type of a soap? Probably not. I really like doing my bars, so I'll probably do a large batch and do a single bar and then cut the bars up. And I think on this one, when I do it again, I'll do a tricolor and probably do a blue, a sea green, and a white. And I can use, I have those colors available, and I probably will reproduce that one here in the next couple of weeks. Now that I know that my sample batches are workable and usable, I will now continue to use this to make just a couple of soaps and test my fragrances out. And if I just wanted to, you know, give out some sample bars to people, I can do that too. There's so many things I can do with my samples. There you go. There's the final soap. I'm very happy with that. How about you? Don't forget to like and comment down below and subscribe for more great information on how you can make your own processed soaps, or just follow me on Instagram or Facebook, my Facebook page, which is Jemminz. I'm also on Pinterest, and you can purchase these products in the future from ebay.com. I am working on my own website, and I'm hoping in the next few weeks to have my website up. So, in the meantime, thank you everybody, and you all have a great day. Enjoy!